Ambassador Basora, I wanted to ask you maybe to speculate a little bit. You know, at the time of the Bush administration, the first Bush administration, we had the New World International Order, and everyone was very positive about what was going on. The wall had come down, the Soviet Union was dissolving, and then we had Desert Storm. We left Saddam Hussein in power. I think that the 90s was a period that, and of course then Bush lost his re-election campaign. I think we haven't really examined the 90s thoroughly enough to understand the roots of what's going on today. And I think it's a crucial time where we somehow lost our mojo at a very crucial time in world history. Could you talk about what might have happened had Bush won re-election? I mean, what was,
Yes.
we were on kind of an upward tick, and then things seemed to fall apart.
Well, as vain as it may sound, I think you asked the right person, because I served in the, as you probably know from my bio, I served in the Bush 41 White House at the National Security Council. And then, after I retired from the Foreign Service, then I went out to Prague and was ambassador to Czechoslovakia during the Velvet Divorce, and then stayed as ambassador in Prague. But after that, I became president of Eisenhower Fellowships, whose chairman was George H.W. Bush. I got to know him pretty well, both a little bit at the White House and then subsequently. Yes, there's no question. To me, he is. I should start by saying that I should have prefaced this by saying that I am an independent. I'm not a Democrat or Republican, and I took the I took the nonpartisanship of a career, anybody in the career government service very seriously, and I take it today for other reasons. So what I'm about to say is not a partisan comment. In my view, Bush 41 was one of the great foreign policy presidents of all time in the United States. Not perfect, but he got most things right. He and Brent Scowcroft, who was the best national security advisor we've ever had in my view, they got together, they saw the troops. I was there, I was seeing it too, and hearing directly what, the conversations, indirectly, hearing the conversations between Scowcroft and Bush. So they saw these troops, Desert Storm, they saw the Iraqi army in full retreat. They saw that we were already beginning to destroy them and that it was mass slaughter. They saw that occurring on television. And they said, we as a nation cannot engage in this degree of mass slaughter. It is against our values. We had formed a coalition. Remember, the Gulf War coalition was an extraordinary success story in terms of multilateralism. We got UN sanction for it. We got lots of Arab countries, the Egyptians and many others, to participate in it. President Bush's idea was to maintain support for that, and he thought that he would lose that global support, that the U.S. leadership role in the world required that we be restrained and not simply remove Saddam Hussein. We went in for a reason. We had a UN resolution that said we've got to reverse the invasion of the country. It didn't say you have a mandate to unseat Saddam Hussein. But fast forward, what happens next? You get President Clinton coming in on the reason that in my view Bush 41 lost the election was, as Clinton put it, it's the economy, stupid. We have been so successful internationally, but things were, we were in a recession, we're just coming out of a recession, high unemployment, and Clinton was a very smart, highly charismatic politician who played that, just like our current president has played up to the fears and concerns of many Americans, understandable fears and concerns. The problem is that it took Clinton 2 years to learn foreign policy. I saw him in action. He came. It's in my... when I was ambassador in Prague, he had a summit with all the four Visegrad countries, the president with Havel and Wałęsa and the leaders of the four Poland, Hungary, Czech and Slovak republics. And I saw him in action. By that time, this is January of '94. He had already learned a lot about foreign policy, and then he became, in many ways, a good foreign policy president. But we had lost a lot of momentum, and then you get Bush 43, knows nothing about foreign policy, and was avenging his father. Because remember, there had been an assassination attempt against his father. In his mind, he had to finish the job. What would have happened had Bush 41 stayed in office? I think he would have been far more effective in pursuing the logic. Yes, we intervene, but we use the mandate that we have from the UN. We also are loyal to our allies, do not alienate them in the way you just pointed out with the Iran agreement. He would have, he was on the phone all the time. I was writing his talking points for many of his conversations with Francois Mitterrand, who had been highly anti-American, but when he saw what was happening, what Saddam Hussein was doing, on the verge of invading Saudi Arabia and having taken over Kuwait, he said, no, he was one of the strongest members of that Gulf coalition. The exact opposite. So, of what's happening now. And acting together, you saw the tremendous force of what we were able to achieve. The U.S. has tremendous leadership potential. We've wasted it. We've misused it at times. We can regain it, but only if we have a vision, that is consistent over different administrations, and that's a hard slog, a tall order. And secondly, if we have alliances, if we are with Europe, they're 500 million people, as you pointed out, our 330, our GDPs together, not only tremendously out, and our military potential, including all their contributions, militarily that I alluded to, so totally outweigh Russia that Russia is nothing if we're united, but we're not.